express. But today we'll take the route towards Entebbe using this old road, and we see how it looks like. This entire section of Entebbe Road was resurfaced from Entebbe right up to Chibuye, and one would argue that including the Queensway, it reaches up to Clock Tower, the resurfacing that was done. So it's quite smoother than previously. Right here is the heart of Kajjansi. On the right here is the Kajjansi police post. It's very central to maintaining traffic flow on this road, especially at this very busy junction. At this very junction on my left, you can proceed to go to Boya, where you find the airstrip, which also does domestic flights, or you can turn right into the parts of Kajjansi and so on, the residential side, and you have access to the market here and other places. This is a very busy junction. It basically creates the traffic stop for vehicles coming from both town and towards town. It's quite busy, as you can see around here, but it's interesting to know that this is the oldest connection we had to the airport, and still remains as a dominant one for most motorists who cannot afford to go through the express. So previously this used to be very jammed with a lot of traffic, but I can say that there is some mild improvements, though not really significant. Ideally, one expected that with the opening up of expressway, perhaps most of the residents of Entebbe, especially in the areas of Onkumba and onwards in the areas of Kisubi, would utilize that road, but perhaps they still find convenience in this road with the several amenities, with the offshoots. And of course, it's important to know that most of the traffic that uses Entebbe Road is traffic that is interested in accessing places like Bwebaja, Chitubulu, and so many of those other residential areas, Kauku, Garuga, and so on. Those are areas that are before the exit of the express at Nkumba. So perhaps it makes sense that people have this road still as a preference, and maybe it adds value to the businesses that line up this entire road. We know that the express doesn't have access outside the entry and exit. So yeah, this road is still very useful for everyone. We are now here at Chitende. From Chitende we'll be at Bwebaja and so on. Those who are familiar with Entebbe Road, I'm sure you can identify several of the places that famous places that line up this road. I've previously made a record of the Kajjansi towards the Kampala direction. I think that is well documented in some of my videos, but now this section is what has been pending for me. Today is a Sunday. I hope there are no schools that are breaking off, which is famous for causing jam on this road. I hope that is not the case. And that we can have a smooth flow up to Entebbe, basically. These are some of the busy junctions which also contribute to the traffic hiccups. This very junction that takes you to several parts of Chitende and so on. You find that it holds up a lot of vehicles on from both directions. You can note the double lines separating traffic, and by all means you cannot start crossing from one lane to another, especially in this section of the road. Very straight and very tempting on any given day for some of the motorists. Entebbe Road is known to be lined up with lots of developments, schools, health facilities, banking institutions, and so on. I don't know what this guy is doing is not right, but yeah. From here, we are basically starting to approach Bwebaja, which is another place along Entebbe Road. We still continue on the smooth ride that now characterizes this road, and we continue to find pockets of these intersections that basically cut through the entire road up to Entebbe. Number of places of worship similarly scattered here: mosques, churches, synagogues, and so on. Yeah, from here they indicate that it's about 24 kilometers to the airport. You can see the street lights at this part of the road. I don't know how far they go, but at least this is a good initiative. And here you can see traffic police that is perhaps enforcing the regulations of the road. On my right is a new mall here at Bwebaja that has come up recently. The left one is very known by everyone. It's what was left of Chogam. But the Voice Mall and Hotel is what is the newest block here on this road on the right here in Bwebaja. You can see number of hoarding sites around here, basically indicating that the construction is ongoing, and that is all courtesy of the improvements in the road networks and the expansion of the city. This is still part of the greater Kampala metropolitan area, which rounds up to Entebbe, areas of Wakiso, Mokono, up to Mpigi, up to Matuga, up to sections of Mukono and so on. So I'll let you enjoy the trip, and I'll be chipping in if I find some interesting feature to talk about. But yeah, this is the new, or rather the old Entebbe road that has been resurfaced, smooth drainage works. Drainage has been improved, road furniture in some places. This junction is what takes you to Arkwright and several of the developments. It goes on to connect to the Nakauka Road and parts of Sisa and so on. Just if you turn right in that intersection we've just left. Overall, I think traffic is okay, and with the improvements, I think it's still very good to use this road. But if you want faster access to the airport, to parts beyond Nkumba, your safest bet is the express. You'll be able to go at 100 max, and you'll be at Nkumba in less than 15 minutes. We are now approaching Kisubi. And I must note that this road is scattered with several entertainment centers, hangout places, hotels, and as we get closer to Entebbe, you find the beaches, and all people who want to have life outside there, busy routines with family, with friends and all. I think this part of town provides that kind of environment. Airport is 20 kilometers from here. That is the same distance from Kampala to Mukono. But we all know that from the city to Entebbe it's about 44-45 kilometers. And it's interesting that people do not feel that is a big distance, especially those who stay this side. The reason being is that you don't go through a lot of non-developed areas, so your eyes are engaged from the beginning with buildings, with people, with so much everything, not and without seeing undeveloped areas. So it gives you an impression that it is nearer, and indeed it is. 45 kilometers is not very far, but compared to other places of equal distance which people are currently not yet having an appetite for, I think it gives you an indication. If you go to, for example, Bombo, which is on that road leading to Gulu, Bombo is about to a similar distance to Entebbe. but it is still a virgin area compared to this side. Meaning that if tomorrow they do the Bombo Expressway, you may be better off staying in Bombo than staying in Entebbe. Though, of course, right now that is not valid anymore, given the improvements. Yeah, but here we start going to Kauku. On my left is the Kauku Bwerenga Road, and another interesting area for real estate. So this is Kauku, the bit of town along the road, but deep inside there you'll get to find the real Kauku. So it is these junctions that basically are scattered along the entire road that make this place, interesting. We are approaching the Kisubi, and if you are aware, if you know, there's this Kisubi Nakauka Road was recently commissioned for construction, and it will help to relieve traffic in one way or another. It is that junction coming up on my right, which is basically Kisubi to Nakauka to proceeding up to Natete. It connects to Seaside, connects to Kasanje, and goes all the way to Mpiji. So all those roads are going to be tarmacked from here towards that side, and that will significantly boost movement. Police post at Kisubi, and on my left is the access to St. Mary's College, Kisubi, SMAC. So I've seen in some places we have the street lights, and in several other places they are not yet there, but I see some excavations, I guess, to be in position to locate them. I think that is a good upcoming development along this road. My left is Savio. There's another famous school here, St. Savio Junior School, and you can also access the college from that junction, as well as the university, Kisubi University. It is about 15 kilometers to the airport from here. This is more or less leading us into now Katabi. After Kisubi, Katabi is another So where you see on the left or on the right, where you see those red and white taping, is basically for excavations where they're going to put street lights. They're yet to be installed or made arrangements for, including casting the blocks on which they sit or stand. But I'm sure once that is done, we should be able to see this road fully illuminated as it leads us into the city, Kampala. Coming up on my left is a junction taking you to Garuga, another section which was recently tarmacked by our own UNRA. So this junction, the road leading to on my left leads you to Garuga. It's fully tarmacked and has improved a lot of likeness of that place. It's now very easy to move. So we're now nearing the the exit of the express, and in the foreground perhaps you're able to see it. So here you can again now get onto the express towards the Kajjansi, towards the Busega, and of course into town from this side if you're coming from the old Entebbe road. But what you see there is a big roundabout of the expressway, and it is the end of the expressway. But since we are continuing up to Entebbe, we'll keep left. And I can see someone here is heading towards Kampala. This is a place usually for traffic police. If you're not familiar with Entebbe Road, they're always here, and they'll be ready to stop you if you're overspeeding or check for any, driving requirements. Now, I think about 2 weeks ago, we had that incident at Nkumba, and I think the driver was coming from this side, and when you're here, you literally have no visibility of the lights that are at this junction coming up. So if you come cruising at 50 and above, then you find these lights which are currently disabled. You would only get to know about them here, and there are 2-stage lights. You get these ones first, and you have the second set of lights, and that's where I think that's what creates kind of a black spot in a way, that you may be stopped here and you may see the further lights and you think they are letting you go, but then the immediate ones are already stopping you. So if you don't have if you cannot stop in time, that means you're most likely going to ram into the vehicles that are ahead of you, and I think that is what happened. What we also note, remember the driver tried to go over this meridian thing within the road, but now you can see as it was upped, they added another block, so it was more difficult for him to go over to cross the other side of the road, which would have been safer. This is Abaita Babili, very famous as well along Entebbe Road. This road now is more of the old Entebbe road, just expanded with access on both sides of the road. And we start inching in closer and closer to the heart of Entebbe. Someone was counting for me that there are about 7 or 8 sets of traffic lights from Kumba there. So far now, this is the second set, which basically makes it 4 rounds of lights. That motorists have to be careful about. Chitubulu coming up. Several crossing points along the road. We used to have Sese Beach here. I think it still is, with this dilapidated building here. We have the lake here, very close to the road, and it almost went over the road, I think sometime in 2020, when the lake levels were really high. I think that was during the time when they were also constructing, so they raised this section of the road. But I can see they're putting gabions to further reinforce the showers along this part of the road. This is another sweet spot for traffic. If you don't Entebbe road, you shouldn't be surprised that you're stopped for overspeeding, overtaking, and so on. The speed limit here has been indicated as 60. Botanical gardens are on my left. Getting into the heart of Entebbe. This was the former capital city of Uganda, from what I learned in school, before it was moved to Kampala, which used to be in Entebbe. But all other things withstanding, you have to appreciate the improvements on the roads, the flow of traffic, at least for this section of Entebbe Road, or the entire Entebbe Road. I really appreciate that. We're about 7 kilometers to the airport from here, and I want to take you up to the airport so that you see how smooth the flow is up to that side. Coming up is Victoria Mall, another very good feature for users of this road. I can see ahead the painting the zebra crossing. Yeah, I think it must be an initiative of some of the organizations. This is good for safety, road safety and all. This is the famous lion that people were talking about. Speed limit has been pushed to 50 from here, and we are having upcoming lights where there are also traffic police waiting in that corner. But it seems today either there is no power or the lights are off intentionally, but they're not at least working. That's what we can see. Like I mentioned, our traffic police are here. They become predictable on where they are located. Imperial Mall, Village Mall, so many developments here. You can start to see number of hotels and roads making links into the bigger Entebbe city. On my right is the property belonging to Ugandans, and people call it State House. It's where the Fountain of Honor is basically having his offices all resides. Another set of traffic lights here, smooth roads, and inroads towards several other establishments in Entebbe, Uganda Wildlife Education Center, golf courses and everything, beaches, botanical, imperial hotels, and so on. So yeah, this is us. The airport is not far from here. On my right, you have can have access to the heart of Entebbe town. The airport is about 4 kilometers from here. Here onwards, I think we have number of security establishments. On the right is the UN and some of their flight hangars. On the left more or less police quarters. This road is well lit at night. If you've used it, you know what I mean. Still very smooth. You enjoy the green and the flow. It really looks beautiful as you approach the airport. lake is really now visible, and perhaps on my left you'll see that the number of beaches, Coco Beach, Penio Beach Hotel, Lido, White Sands, beach lovers, this is where you would come. Reduce speed. The check-ins, security check-ins start here. Here you really need to be on top of your game to make sure that you're not caught offside, that you're not disobeying any traffic considerations or so once you go through security, you can now proceed to the next check-in, or the next gate access. So on my right here, I think these are vehicles waiting for their occupants that had to go through the video check. Previously that used to happen here, but I think they have pushed it behind there to, I don't know, but it's okay either way. Here we come to get that gate access, the parking ticket and all. It is 2,000 for an initial hour, and 1,000 for every extra hour you spend here. For the small cars, for the big cars, the vans, it is 4,000 per hour. Trucks and buses 5,000, and if you want long-term parking, it is 10,000 per day. You can just leave your vehicle here in the long-term parking area, and you pay 10k per day until when you're ready to pick it, or when you return from your journey. Get our parking tickets and we proceed. road has recently been resurfaced. We'll go to the arrivals. This is long-term parking where you see that blue tent. Get in here, register, leave your card details, telephone number, next of kin, blah blah blah, when you've left, when you're planning to come back, that kind of detail. Then you come back and find your car safe. This is the airport, the new terminal. Now we'll look for parking and see where we can leave the vehicle.